If you truly want to build a leadership team that can run your business without you, here's the ultimate test. Plan a 6-month sabbatical. I'm talking about stepping away from your business with 100% confidence that it will not only run, but that it will thrive without your involvement. You too can do the same thing. The question is, what would you do? What would you do if you really knew that you didn't have to worry about your business? By going through this exercise, you will clearly see what your business needs to run without you. If you truly want to build a leadership team that can run your business without you, here's the ultimate test. Plan a 6-month sabbatical. Now, I'm not saying you need to do it tomorrow, but I am challenging you to do it in the next 12 months. I'm talking about stepping away from your business with 100% confidence that it will not only run, but that it will thrive without your involvement in the day-to-day operations. Here's how you get there. First, from today, from when you're watching this, go ahead and schedule from 12 months your sabbatical, 12 months from today, and name it the No Worry Sleep Like a Baby sabbatical. Then you're going to create a corresponding Sleep Like a Baby scorecard. You're going to reverse engineer your scorecard, and this is going to help you identify who you need on your team, not by names, but rather by roles and the skills required. Next, assess your leadership team. Give them a leadership audit. Once you have all of this information, you can then evaluate and determine whether or not you need to reorganize. And if you need to reorganize things, do so. At some point, you're going to have to develop your people, and you're going to develop your people based on any gaps that were identified in the assessment. And this is going to really help you grow your internal team. Next, you might consider bringing in external talent. You're going to recruit leaders that excel in the areas where there are gaps that your team can't fill. You also will need to train your acting CEO. This is the person that's going to step in for you when you take your sabbatical. And then finally, you're going to choose an operating system or framework that's going to create the structure that builds trust and accountability for the long haul. So even if you decide not to take the sabbatical, by going through this exercise, you will clearly see what your business needs to run without you. Let me give you an example of how this exercise works in real life. I was working with a client, and we took their business leaders through a leaderless discussion. They were looking at being acquired within the next 18 months to 2 years. And the question was, how good is our leadership team? Are they ready? So during this leaderless discussion, gave them a piece of paper and on it's like, Janice, the CEO, is taking a 6-month sabbatical. And given that she's gone for 6 months, and she's gone on emergency, 6 months, the business needs to run, and it needs to not only run, we need to make sure that we're going to have continual business coming in. And sitting down and observing, and that was one of my roles during this leaderless discussion, was to sit back and observe what they were doing, what they were talking about, where they thought they needed support, where they wished they had more information. It was quite telling. And that's what I'm inviting you to do with this exercise. By planning your 6 months, no worries, sleep like a baby sabbatical, you are going to go through a very similar exercise. However, in this case, it's going to be even more thorough. So if you haven't already done it, pull out your calendar. I don't know if you are using Google Calendar, you might be using Outlook, you might be using a paper calendar, but pull out your calendar and set a date 12 months from now as the official start date of this sabbatical you're going to take. You probably want to take a little bit of time and create your ideal sabbatical. I really want you to get in there and marinate in it a bit. If you could take 6 months off of your business, what in the heck would you do with that 6 months? People in academia do it all the time. It's like every 7 years, they are going on a sabbatical. It's giving them a chance to maybe go out and learn new things, have new experiences. And this is away from the research and all of the work that they do. You too can do the same thing. The question is, what would you do? What would you do if you really knew that you didn't have to worry about your business? And once you have this date on the calendar, I invite you to start creating that scorecard that is going to support your ability to take the time off. And you will want to make a list of everything that may keep you up at night. So if it's going to keep you up at night and it's dealing with your business, just put all of that on a list. Then, kind of like we did leaderless discussion, pull in your leadership team and just throw this out there to them as an exercise. And say, if I were to take a 6-month sabbatical, what would keep you up at night? And you want to do this because then all of the issues, problems, things are going to pop out, not only to you, but to them. They're going to give you some insights that you were not even expecting. You may also ask them, what would cause you to want to give me a call? Because if they want to give you a call, that means they need more information. They need to pull and extract something out of your head so that when you're gone, they have the answers. And as you're doing this, and I said you're going to have this list of things, you will probably want to shorten that list at some point. In EOS, the Entrepreneur's Operating System, they talk about spending a week on an island, and all you could do is receive a little list of numbers that let you know the business was running, what would be on that list. And that's pretty much what you're doing here. However, we are looking a little longer. We're looking at a longer time frame here because you're gone for 6 months. What would you need to see? What are the metrics? What are the numbers? What are the things that are important to you? Again, it could be a long list. You and your leadership team can whittle this down. After you have your list and everything whittled down to something workable, you then have an opportunity to reverse engineer the scorecard. And you can start matching abilities. And you're matching the ability because you need to identify what your ideal team looks like. And I said not by name, but by roles. And also, I want you to start thinking about your ideal team having true and genuine authority. So for someone to truly own those numbers and for you to trust that the outcomes that you're seeing or the numbers that you're seeing are true, what would that person or what would that role need to look like? What would they need to be doing? What processes should they be running? And you're going to find some gaps right there. You might not even have the answers to some of this. But again, going through this process is going to help open you up to what your team needs to thrive. And when it comes to assessing your current team, there's many different ways you can assess them. Perhaps one of the easiest ways, the quickest ways, is by using a really solid assessment, some sort of evidence-based assessment. I like to use a leadership audit. That's what we use. And that allows us to see what's going on with that individual and identify the exact areas, and yes, might be nitpicking, the exact areas where they can improve. We also add to that an informed interview or debrief session so that we can get the story, get the context behind the data. And once you have this assessment of your leaders, not only do you end up finding out where the gaps are, but are they ready for genuine authority? And you look at your team and you compare it to your list, and you're in a place where you can begin to reorganize. Do you have the right people in the right seats? And this might be a little challenging, especially if you are tender-minded. It might be hard to reorganize and move people. But if you want to take this 6-month sabbatical, or you go through this exercise and truly answer what you would need to take this 6-month sabbatical, it may involve a slight reorganization. And if we go back to the assessments that they took when you were evaluating, do I have the right people in the right seats? Do I need to reorganize? Those same assessments can be used to develop your team. And you can develop your team as individuals, most definitely. However, when you look and you do an audit across your entire leadership team, you can find the themes that most or all of them share. For example, I worked with the leadership team and assessed the leadership team, and this were 12, there were 13 of them, and 12 out of 13 of these individuals did not delegate. That was an eye opener for everybody. That you had this great team, they were getting some really good results, but then there were some redundancies, and they were having some challenges, and they were over, a lot of them were overworked. And it turns out that 12 out of 13 did not delegate. And that became a training. That became one of the focuses for the entire leadership team. And so as you develop the team as a whole, and then yes, individually, you'll know where your entire team needs to grow to truly step into true leadership. And now we get into the space where potentially you need to recruit. You may need to go out and find external individuals to help fill the critical gaps. Because again, if you're going to step away for 6 months and you don't have people that can give you the ability to sleep like a baby because you know they have everything covered, then you are going to have to bring in some external people. And you're going to have to bring in external people that fit the culture of the organization, the culture of your company. And they need to be able to excel in the areas where you need them. And then I talked about training your replacement. Well, I said training the person that's going to be the acting CEO or whatever your title is. And as you are training this acting person or training your replacement, you are really working within your succession plan. Because let's face it, anything could happen. And I don't want you to get hit by the proverbial bus. It could happen, but you could get sick. There could be some sort of disability. Something could happen with your family where you truly do need to step away and have confidence in knowing that your business is still running successfully. And if you do that, if you find that person and train that person that's going to step in and act as the CEO, the leader for 6 months, then you are going to be in a really positive place. This is going to do wonders for your peace of mind. And who knows, it may add a little extra fuel, ignite some fire within the leaders as they see that you are willing to take your hands off things a little bit. And then finally, an operating system. There's so many different operating systems or frameworks out there that you can use to really help you add structure to all of this, because that's where the trust is really going to come in. The trust is going to come in by the rhythm that you have running with your team. If you are off on your sabbatical and you know that you have a solid operating system in place, you know that you guys have a rhythm to things, then you're going to have a little bit more peace of mind, because during this 6 months, you need to know that they're having meaningful meetings where things are getting done. In addition, since you're going to be gone for 6 months, they're going to have at least one quarterly planning session without you. And having this operating system in place is going to help you have confidence that whatever they do during that quarterly planning session is going to be in line with what you guys have discussed as an entire group. And with the operating system helping you navigate this, you're going to understand what exactly is happening and why it's happening. Now, this sabbatical you're taking isn't just about stepping away from the business. It's about also knowing that your business can thrive without you. And when you're ready to take the 6-month sabbatical, you'll know that you've built a leadership team that every business owner dreams of, and it will perfectly fit your business because it is custom to your company. And who knows, maybe you'll actually be able to take a vacation without having to text anyone, check emails. And wouldn't that be nice?